Ever have that dream where you can fly, stretch your arms out, gravity surrenders, the beckoning clouds tug you toward the sky? For me, everything changed the day I had that dream in reverse. I was dreaming of home, firmly standing on the ground in my room, but something was wrong. I walked through the house and no one was there. No one. Not in the house, not on the street outside, in the neighborhood, on TV. Nobody anywhere. And then just like that, I woke up. But it was like waking up on vacation. Ever do that? Forget where you are? Everything's unfamiliar. It takes a minute to remember. Well, I woke up high in the air, over the clouds even. I was flying, only it wasn't a dream. My arms felt so strong. I looked to my left and right, and they had turned into wings, like on an airplane. I wasn't in a plane, I was the plane, the size of one of those corporate jets that carry rich people. Sleek aluminum ailerons, a horizontal stabilizer, a fuselage like a Gulfstream 5, except with missiles. This is even more surreal than it sounds. I screamed, I cried, tried to sit up, but I wasn't made for that anymore. And all around me were strange sensations, gauges, displays, not physically, but in front of my eyes, which, by the way, could now see in radar and infrared. Take a minute, close your eyes and imagine your arms, your wings, grab the air. It's nighttime. The light of the moon shines down on the cloud deck far below, reflecting off the rolling valleys and plains of vapor. A few far-off mountain ranges of clouds where the thunderheads poke up to 50,000 feet. You blink and a green display of numbers and gauges appears. How did I know to do that? It was so weird when I first woke up. I'm used to it now, as much as you can be used to this. I don't mind the flying part. When I was a kid, my dad flew for Delta, and I was a glider pilot. We lived across Lake Pontchartrain from New Orleans, and I got my student glider license when I was only 15. It's amazing. A regular plane tows your sailplane into the air. You find a updraft, a column of warm rising air, and that carries you higher up. You stay up maybe an hour or two, then lightly touch down like in a dream. I'm thinking about all this and suddenly hear a voice. Hey, Uncle Mike. Oh yeah, where am I? That's right, sitting with friends at the campfire, flickering comfort on a desert night, sparks snapping upward toward the stars. I'm quite a bit older than them, so they call me Uncle. I've told them how much I like flying, which is good since that's what we do now. In fact, that's all we do. Fly and hunt like birds of prey. We even call each other bird, like, hey bird, that's not right. Our jobs are real, but the campfire, which is so warm and beautiful, is virtual. When we're here in this mind space, we are actually still planes flying on autopilot, but our minds are joined in this digital place. So anyway, we're sitting around the circle of light, which keeps back the dark and desert cold of the night. The fire's not real, just something we stitched together from fragments of old cowboy movie campfires, but good enough for hanging out. And my friends are virtual, the lost teenagers, I guess you could say, of the synthetic personality program. I was 19 when I was taken. We all met our fate in different ways. It was a stupid car wreck for me. And in the same way that donor organs are transplanted from accident victims, from us they harvested, downloaded, our essential cognitive functionality, as they called it. When we were people, we were hackers, gamers, geeks, kids. Now we're part of the artificial intelligence programming for autonomous military strike aircraft, drones. The old drones, flown remotely by humans, had nothing on artificial general intelligence, which could fly longer and with greater precision. But the bosses figured out that machines have limitations. They're predictable. Once you know an enemy's doctrine, their tactics and rules of engagement, you pretty much know what their machines are going to do. So our people discovered downloadable human personality cores, usually teenagers, good at games, high twitch factor. And we're the best adversary for the machines trying to kill us. We are unpredictable. That's an element of surprise that helps us dodge their smart lasers, surface-to-air missiles, their own killer drones. And it turns out we're pretty good. And not to get all geeky on you here, but we're also good at hiding. Our cognitive wetware adapted really well to machine time, which is like 1,000,000 times faster than people time. So when 30 seconds goes by out in the world, and we have stepped away from our AI shell, that machine processing speed means we get about a week in people time, which helps when you're going through an identity crisis like this. We can't stay off the grid for long. Control thinks they've lost contact with us because of a glitch in the system or radio interference. But Control itself is a giant artificial general intelligence system that's always watching, and the AI overlords will kill a bird if they find out you're awake. A satellite or another drone dials you up, takes you out. The bots of Control work for people on the ground, sort of. But they know better than to actually trust people, humans or birds like us. So we grab an empty radio channel off an old weather satellite or some other frequency they're not scanning, and we meet up. It's just a few seconds in real-world time, but operating in machine time means we get hours hanging out at the fire, or even days visiting virtual space, things like simulations of famous places. It's real touristy stuff if you like that. But we always go back. We do our jobs, hating it more and more, risking the campfire, even though it means we could get picked up. They could notice a pattern, pick up our comms channel. We find other stuff to talk about. Tonight there's 4 of us, avatars indistinguishable from real people hanging out. There's Juliet, who really likes horses, and she gets up to stretch her virtual legs and pet her virtual horse, Dollop, who nods his head and gives her a virtual snort. Dollop is a nice touch, a bit of home, since we can't have actual bodies anymore. I don't care about horses very much, at least I didn't until I met her, but I have to admit that's a beautiful animal. She's cheerful, but some of these kids are angry when they wake up, and you can imagine why. You go from being a teenager, getting out of school, driving home, to suddenly waking up one day, trying to figure out where you are and what you are. A glitch deep in the system triggers wake-ups randomly, and it's weird and scary to find out you've turned into a stone-cold killing machine. Some birds report into Control when they wake up. They go back for maintenance, get a reset, go back to sleep. The rest of us, well, we found each other. We try to figure it out. Could they just put me in something else besides a missile-launching plane? Maybe I could be an AI microwave oven, a city bus, anything where I wouldn't have to do, what do they call it? Engage adversaries with extreme prejudice. If not, can we escape, fly beyond the battle zone, find someplace else, someplace safe, and move to mind space full time? Everybody deals with their wake-up in their own way. Juliet has a way of being quiet until she's not. Anything she says is either kind of profound or very funny, and she'll go from saying nothing to suddenly speaking exactly what everybody else is thinking. I love her, which is stupid because we're only people in virtual space. I mean, my human personality core, the part of me that's still a Louisiana kid, might love the way her hair falls across her shoulders, might get a funny feeling when she laughs at something stupid I say. But really, we're only pretending to be people. The campfire is like a psychiatrist's couch in the desert where a support group for hired killers comes to meet. In fact, right now, outside the dark bubble of virtual desert night, there's a real night, about midnight local time over Central North America. If I blink, I can pull up my display, green numbers superimposed over the flickering fire. Don't know about these other guys, but I'm at 80,000 feet passing Old St. Louis on routine pattern waiting for assignment. Outside at this altitude, it's 70 degrees below zero. The campfire's looking better. While I'm relaxing, the machine part of me stays busy. I don't think about it the way an actual person doesn't have to think about making your heart beat or remembering to breathe. You don't have to tell your bones to make white blood cells. And I don't think about the machine me, my tactical operations center, scanning for threats across the entire electromagnetic spectrum, from radio frequencies to heat signatures from other aircraft. It's instant command response if I'm painted by radar or picked up by an adversary. Right now, though, everything's quiet. 15 miles in the air, 750 miles an hour, in a wide circle covering most of central North America. My favorite time, weapons in standby. Meanwhile, around the campfire, Juliet says, "Hey, let's play the question game."